In recent videos, we've done lists of the best meta strikers, meta midfielders, and meta defenders, but today we're focusing on players from all positions, but only Wonder Kids. We're going to be looking at those young players that play really well in game because of some certain attributes that they have, whether it's great physical attributes, really good technicals, or mentals, the guys that always perform to the highest levels that you need to sign. So without further ado, we've got a lot to get into, so let's check out player number 1. And it is the perfect example of a meta player to start with. We're looking for those guys that have the attributes that work well in the in-game engine, and Karim Konate is one of those. He might not be the world's tallest striker or anything like that, but he is insanely quick with great pace, acceleration and agility, and he's only 19, so that's actually going to get better in the next few years. For about £18 million from Salzburg, he is a gem of a pickup, normally goes on to play for some of the biggest clubs in your saves, already an international for the Ivorian national team, and it's not just his physical attributes where he shines, he's great mentally and he's got good technicals as well. That is the weakest side of his game, but he can finish, he's got decent heading and decent dribbling too, nice first touch, but his passing will need some work. Saying that though, he doesn't necessarily need that. He'd be a great pressing forward, a great advance forward, good with both feet too. Give him some time to grow, and this guy can be one of the best strikers in the world, but he is someone that always performs well in the in-game engine, and they're the guys that we're looking for today. Before we continue with the rest of this list though, if you do get some use out of it, if you find some good players for your save, or you just want to be nice, make sure you smash that like button for us and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want to see more of my content, you can find my channel linked in the description down below. Over there we do some Football Manager rebuilds, but less about that. Let's get in to the other 14 players that we've got to get through in today's video. And this is a personal favourite of mine that I found in one of my own rebuilds. We dedicated a whole video to him, probably the video before this, depending on when this video goes out. This is Franco Gonzalez, a 19-year-old gem of a signing from Penarol. About £1 million will net you a midfielder who's great in the mezzala role. He can also play further forward in attacking midfield. If you're looking for a forward-thinking, goal-scoring midfielder, Gonzalez is the man. He's already a regular starter for one of the biggest sides in Uruguay, a guaranteed future international for his country with insane technical attributes. Yes, his physicals are weak in a few areas, but he's got 16 finishing, 15 first touch, dribbling, creative ability, work rate. This guy has got the lot, and he is only 19, and he's only going to cost you £1 million. Performs great in the in-game engine, as all of these players do. Doesn't have as high as a potential as some of these other Wonder Kids, but he does have some really good starting ability. As does Ernest Nuama, who's a player that I believe was boosted in the winter update, and since then, he's been all over any save that I've done. He's always appeared as one of the best players in the world. He's a Ghanaian international, 19-year-old. He plays for Lyon on loan from his club RWD Molenbeek, who are a team that are also owned by the same people that own Lyon, I believe, and for that reason, in real life, he's basically just being loaned to Lyon, and eventually, I'm sure will join Lyon, but in Football Manager, it doesn't quite work out like that. Usually, after Season 1, Nuama will move back to Belgium, and he'll just stick it out in the Belgian leagues until someone signs him. Often, waiting out his contract, you're able to pick him up for free, or you can sometimes get him for a cut price deal, 5, 10 million, whatever it might be. Sometimes his club even get relegated, and then you can get him for even cheaper. But he's an electric pace winger on the left or the right, which makes him deadly in the in-game engine. Combine it with some great technical attributes too, the technique, the passing, the dribbling, the finishing, and the first touch, and you have a star on the wing for the future. But enough about attackers, let's have a defender. Thiago Santos is our next player, a Portuguese 20-year-old playing for Lille out in France, having recently signed from the Portuguese division, so you can't get him in the first transfer window, but give it some time, send £10 million the French club's way, and you get a right-back who's already able to play at the highest level with the potential to get even better. He's got 15 tackling, great crossing, dribbling, work rate is there too. He's obviously going to develop quite a lot still, and he is one of the better right-back Wonder Kids in this year's game. Very good going forward, that's where he likes to play a lot of his football. As you can see, he is also able to play on the wing. But I think as an attacking fullback or an attacking wingback, this guy would be a great fit for any team. He's got the attributes to play well in game. As you can see here, he is a very quick player, and that's going to benefit him both in terms of defending against quick wingers, but also bombing forward, putting some crosses in, and creating some chances for his teammates. Now this is another favourite of mine, Lamine Camara of FC Metz. He is a phenomenal midfielder and he's not good in the in-game engine because of one specific attribute. Maybe he's really tall, really strong, really quick. No, not really. He is just very, very well rounded and there isn't really a weakness in his game at age 19. He's already a regular international for Senegal and because he's not at the biggest club in the world, you can usually get him for a cut price fee. I mean, 10 million for a player like this, age 19, is a great deal. A box-to-box midfield option who's got great attributes in every single mental slot. His technicals are near enough the exact same. Yes, there's a few that don't quite make the 11 mark, but that's only marking, long throws and heading, which you can kind of forgive. His physicals are good too. This guy is a brilliant all-round midfielder and will be a great pickup for any team that can get him. A more defensive profile in the midfield though is Luca Guanaduaf, who plays for RB Salzburg, is a £15 million Frenchman, 19 years of age, who isn't the best technically, although he does offer quite a bit still, but really it's his mentals and his physicals where he shines with great attributes in every single area. The only weakness is he's not a leader, but who really cares about that? If you have him as a deep line playmaker in your midfield, yes, he could do a decent job with his passing, vision and technique, but he can also do the defensive side of the game too. 11 tackling isn't the worst. He's got good positioning, which really helps him at the base of that midfield. And if you want someone to pin down your midfield to let everyone else flourish, then Guanaduaf is a man, and he really can play for some of the biggest clubs in the world. Semi Kiloskoy is one of the best Wonderkid strikers this year and someone that really suits the meta. If you sign him in your save, you are always guaranteed tons of goals. 17 years of age and already a regular starter for one of Turkey's biggest sides. This man has a really, really bright future. Mentals are okay, nothing too amazing in there other than his determination, which will be variable, but he's got great technical attributes. The holy trinity of dribbling, finishing and first touch he has, with great technique as well. But he is good with both feet, he's also strong and he's pretty quick too. He's got a lot going for him in that forward line, and at age 17 he's younger than most Wonderkids, so by the time he is their age, 19, 20, that we've been looking at, his physical attributes will be off the chart. So Semi Kiloskoy is probably one of the best in this list. But another player that I find is near enough guaranteed to give you great performances on the field is Luka Sucic, another one from RB Salzburg, another one that's going to cost you just above that £15 million mark. Already an international for Croatia, the 20-year-old is a great forward-thinking midfielder, isn't necessarily the best in the defensive phase with only 8 tackling and 6 positioning, but if you want a goal-scoring midfielder, a Mozala on the attack duty, he could do a great job of that. Again, another one that's a pretty good physical presence in there too. Salzburg have a lot of great Wonderkids on their hands, as seemingly do Ghana. They already had one winger that we've already looked at in Nuama, now we've got another young winger from the nation. This is 18-year-old Ibrahima Osman, who plays for Nordsjælland, but as of the winter update will be joining Brighton, but he is one to keep an eye on, because if you can get your hands on him, he is a great option on the left, likes to cut inside, as you can see from that player trait, onto his strong right foot. He's got some very direct attributes, weak in a lot of areas, don't get me wrong, but he's got the pace, he's got the acceleration, he's got the dribbling, the technique, the first touch. He's going to be a nightmare for any defender that comes up against him. And age 18, he's got a lot of room to get better yet. Brighton seem to have found themselves a gem, but he's certainly still a great option, particularly if they don't give him a chance. Next up is the physical beast that is Yoann Bonni, the 19-year-old Frenchman playing for Parma in Serie B of Italy. This guy, I mean, you can see straight away why I like him. Yes, his mentals are good and his technicals too, but his physicals are great. He's well-rounded in every single area, strong, pretty quick as well, and good in the air. Everything you could want from a forward. Combine that with those good mentals and technicals, and you have a player that for 7 million is an absolute must-buy for any team looking for the next big thing up front. Speaking of strikers with promise, with great physical attributes, Francesco Pio Esposito is another one of those, also playing in Italy for Spezia on loan from Inter Milan. Often, Inter won't give him the chance to develop. He'll usually end up on the transfer list or being released down the line, so scout him after his loan out at Spezia, and I assure you, you might be able to get yourself an absolute bargain of a forward here. Speaking of bargains, you can find one in the second tier of Germany. Nuremberg's 17-year-old Kanuzen is one of the best Wonderkids this year, in my opinion, able to be signed for about 7 million quid. This guy is exceptional technically. As a number 10 in that midfield, he will do a great job, even arguably as a shadow striker. He likes to try tricks and runs with the ball often, good with both feet as well, some nice mental attributes and physicals to go alongside the excellent technique, creative ability, goal scoring ability and dribbling that Kanuzen has. This guy is destined for the very top, Bayern Munich starting attacking midfielder kind of levels, and if you don't sign him quick enough from Nuremberg, it probably will be Bayern that go and pick him up. Kenan Yildiz was another one boosted in the winter winter update in January to now be an elite player in the in-game engine. He will pretty much never let you down, and Juventus' 18-year-old really should be valued at more than the 15 million you can sign him for. He's great in every single area. He is one of the best wonder kids this year in terms of potential too. Give this guy the chance and he will not let you down. I promise you, in the in-game engine, this guy is a beast, and he's also got some great flair too, so he will score some cool goals. A player that will be looking to stop goals though, a centre-back option, is Martin Vitic of Sparta Prague. Another one that is just great in the in-game engine, and you can see why Liverpool and PSG would want to buy him for that £6 or £7 million fee. A strong defender who's also quick and is good on the ball whilst being pretty good defensively too, even if not the best. I think this guy is one of the world-class talents at centre-back that you can sign in FM in terms of wonder kids, so check him out if you haven't already. I think a lot of people do know about him, but he is certainly one of the best meta defenders this year. And finally, we finish off with the big man, Emmanuel Omega, Strasbourg striker that is one of the more pricey options in this list, but he is a guaranteed bagsman, already going to score plenty of goals in Ligue 1. He is tall, he is strong, he is quick, and he's got great finishing ability too, and can head the ball really well. At 20-year-old, the Netherlands national is someone that can still improve massively too. Yes, he can play on the left or the right, but have him as that main man up front for your team, good with both feet. He's going to be able to score plenty of goals for you, and Strasbourg are probably going to make a lot of cash on this guy that they only recently signed from Sturm Graz for 11 million. So they might charge you a fair bit for Omega, but he's definitely worth it. But there you go, there's some Meta Wonder Kids for you to check out in FM24. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.